Hello and welcome to my channel. Say hi to a happy day. In this channel, I would like to share tales and stories I personally picked and are my kids' favorite book stories. Let's enjoy listening while I read to you a book, Introduction to Reptiles and Amphibians. Have you ever wondered how a snake produces young or what lizard eats? There are more species of reptile and amphibian in the world than there are of mammals, but they are far less familiar to us. These creatures range in size from tiny frogs less than an inch long to giants such as the saltwater crocodile, and they have many fascinating ways of moving, reproducing, finding food, and defending themselves. Did you know that there is a lizard that can run across water and a tiny frog that contains enough venom to kill 10 people? There is an extraordinary lizard that squirts blood from its eyes to deter enemies. Male frogs that can carry their developing eggs in their throats or on their backs, and snakes that give birth to live young. Some reptiles are surprisingly attentive parents. Mother crocodiles gently carry their newly hatched young to a safe stretch of water and watch over them until they are mature enough to fend for themselves. Reptiles and amphibians were the first vertebrate animals to live on land and at one time dominated life on Earth. Now they have adapted to nearly every kind of habitat and are some of the most interesting and successful of all living creatures. What are amphibians? Amphibians were the first vertebrate animals to live on land. They evolved from fish, and modern amphibians still spend part of their lives in water. Most amphibians lay their eggs in water, and these hatch into aquatic tadpoles. As the tadpoles grow, they develop legs and lungs to enable them to live on land. Amphibians are cold-blooded. This means they cannot control their own body temperature and must gain heat from the sun. Their skin is smooth, not scaly, and must be kept moist. Adult amphibians have lungs, but they also breathe through their skin. Many are brightly colored, and this is generally a warning to potential enemies that the skin contains unpleasant tasting secretions that can irritate or even poison the attacker. There are 6,000 species of amphibians, and new species are still being discovered, particularly in tropical areas. There are two main groups, frogs and toads, and the salamanders and newts. There is also a third, smaller group of legless amphibians called caecilians. The first reptiles evolved from amphibians about 300 million years ago. Reptiles in the form of dinosaurs, which first lived about 225 million years ago, dominated life on Earth. The main groups of reptiles that survive today are turtles and tortoises, lizards, snakes, and crocodiles and alligators. The fourth reptile group contains only two species of tuatara, a lizard-like creature that lives only in New Zealand. A reptile is a vertebrate animal, and its body is covered with tough, waterproof scales. Reptiles are cold-blooded creatures and are unable to control their own body temperature as mammals can. They have to bask in the sun to warm themselves up, and may take shelter in the middle of the day to avoid getting too hot. Today, there are more than 8,730 species of reptiles, including animals as varied as sea turtles, predatory crocodiles, poisonous snakes, and fast-moving lizards. They live on all continents except Antarctica, but are more common in the warmer regions of the world. Most hunt other animals to eat, but there are some plant-eating turtles, tortoises, and lizards. I hope you enjoy listening to the book Introduction to Reptiles and Amphibians. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to listen to more of our favorite book stories. See you soon!